Yo, welcome to another episode of CandlerCreativeChats. My name is Dan Candler, and today we're going to be interviewing Manon Servage, an incredible dancer, model, choreographer from France. And today we're going to be diving into her creative journey, her experiences, and what it means to her to be a creative. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Manon Servage to the Creative Chat. Cool. Yo. Okay, I can't do that forever, but hello, Manon. How are you doing? Oh my God, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course, I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm dandy. I'm dandy. Never thought of that. But I'm good. So Manon, I've given a little bit of an introduction, but I'd love you to tell everyone and give a bit of an insight into who you are and what you're about. So take it away.
Cool. So yeah, I'm a dancer, choreographer, model, creative being. Basically, love to create things around in an artistic way. And I'm from France. I live in London, and that's where I am doing all of those things at the moment.
Fantastic. So dancing is a big part of your life. Look at the socials, look at your Instagram and everything, and your YouTube channel, everything. You're such an incredible dancer. Where did that journey start? Like, did you start dancing from a young age, or what's the vibe?
Yeah, I started when I was 3 years old, so it is quite
Mm,
young. And I started because I've always loved being on stage or like doing little showcases or I loved doing shows basically. That's why I from a very young age wanted to do. So my mom just decided to like put me in a ballet school. So I started ballet when I was 3 years old,
oh
and
wow.
I never stopped. I just
Mm,
kept going until now, basically.
yeah, incredible. Was your parents and was any of your parents creative?
Not really, no. I mean, parents, not grandparents, yes, because they all like paint or like create in many sorts of ways. So I had artists in the family, but not my parents directly.
Mm. So with your grandparents then, if they were creative or artists or whatever, did they ever like when you were a kid, do you ever remember like getting creative with them and stuff? Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, I did quite a lot of like drawing with them. I used to draw quite a lot. I used to sew with my grandmother as well, like just like create clothes
mm,
or like crochet or knit or those kind of thing. It was not like art in terms of like dancing or movement, but it was still like artistic activities. Like we used to be quite creative, yeah.
yeah, I think it's all linked. I think it's all linked. That's why I ask. Because I feel like when we have a member, I think it's all genes based, you know what I mean? I feel like um
Yeah.
it goes through the generations. Whether your parents aren't creative or whether they are, I mean, I see everyone as creative no matter what you do, but
Yeah, me too.
yeah,
Totally.
like everyone has some sort of creativity within them,
Exactly.
whether it is writing or whether it's speaking in certain in eloquent ways or anything. I feel like everyone has a bit of creativity within them. But yeah, so it sounds like you were yeah like you were creative with your grandparents, and I feel like that could be an indication of like having that warm kind of um humble experience with a family member when you're being in this creative self. I think that can only embed into us even more this idea of becoming a creative individual and going away from the norms of
Yeah,
life.
completely agree with that. Yeah.
um so yeah, no, that's really cool. So you're from France. When did you come over to the UK to, well, when did you come to London to and why? And
Um,
why as well? Why did you come over
and
here?
why?
What
Why
are
is
you
that
doing here?
what I'm doing here? So I moved here, like I settled here last year in January,
Mm,
so January 2022. But before that, I used to come quite a lot during holidays or whenever I had a couple of days off. I used to, because I was living in Paris, that was quite convenient. I was just like traveling here and just to take class or to train or yeah, I don't know. I mean, I know why I came here. But basically, the first time I came here was 2018 or 2019 on a holiday with my parents, and I was being so annoying because like they wanted to like go somewhere
Not like
sunny or
you, man.
like
What are you talking about? You're not annoying.
I was annoying. They were like, yeah, we want to see the sun, we want to like chill by the sea and stuff. And I was like, I want to go to London. I did not know why. I was just like, I want to go to London, and I'm Aquarius. Like, I'm quite stubborn. When I have an idea, I have an idea.
Mm.
So I was like, we are going to go to London. Please trust me, it's going to be amazing. So I planned the whole trip.
Oh wow.
I planned everything, and we came here for a week, and I just fell in love. Like, the second we landed, everything was bad. Train strike, Southern Airport, like 5 hours from London, rain, no, everything was bad, but I was so happy. Like I was buzzing. I had so much energy. I don't know why, but I just
Mhm.
felt good. And I was like, this is where I have to be. And I actually don't know why it took me so long to move here, but I
Mm.
finally did it last year.
Mm.
Yeah, that's kind of my
Incredible.
little story
I want to
with it.
dive into that. I want to dive into that, your reasoning to wanting to go to London so much and having this like just instinct to go to London. Like, why do you think that is?
I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm a spiritual being, but I still rely on like energies and like if I have a feeling or if I feel like I should do something, I will trust that. And I
Mm.
would rather trust my instinct and what I'm feeling without thinking too much.
It's so
Like if
important.
I feel something, I'm like, okay, if I'm feeling that, that's probably for a reason. I would just go for it. Or if I'm not feeling something, same thing, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I rely quite a lot on this energy or feeling or instinct thing, however you want to call that.
I think that can be a scary place to be as well. For the everyday individual. I think
Yeah,
we can get these instincts, and I think I think certain people can get these instincts and not understand what this instinct is, so they don't act on it. So they stay in
true.
the norms of their life when they could be elevated by following their instincts, but it's too much of a scary, unknowable future
Yeah,
having this instinct. Like what is this entity that I'm feeling that could potentially happen in like over there and this, I've been drawn to this place, but what is that? That's so
why?
uncertain. Why? But I'm
Yeah.
wondering whether maybe in your like before you came to London and for the first time or the UK for the first time, have you watched like dancers in the UK or like particular companies or anything in the UK that you might think that
Do you know what? Not even like I remember, no, I was actually because I was not much on Instagram, I was not much on like socials or anything.
mm,
Um, I was maybe I watched like a few, but I was not like, oh my God, they're incredible. I want to learn from them or I want to dance with them. And it's kind of when I booked the trip that I started looking into it and like looking into classes and who I could train with and what I could do. But that came after booking the trip.
mm,
That did not come before, which is quite weird and it
mm,
feels weird. But
I love
I
that.
don't know.
I really do think
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason, and we get these thoughts and these energies for a reason because there's
right.
something that's within us that is pointing us in a direction to be our better selves.
Yeah.
And like you said, I still don't think sometimes we understand what that is, or the direction we are going, but it is for a reason. So that, yeah, I mean that's powerful. With right, so you are a contemporary dancer for everyone who doesn't know.
Mhm.
Incredible
Yeah.
contemporary dancer, I must say.
Thank
You do a
you.
lot of when I see your work and everything, you like to do a lot of floor work, right? Um, or like
Yeah.
kind of big expressive movements. Um, what does there was a question there, and it's going to my mind.
What you want to
This
know?
happens a lot, Manon. Don't worry. We will get there. No, but what's your feeling towards that kind of movement? Why do you love contemporary and these expressive artistic movements? Let's dive into a little bit of that. I'd love to.
Right. I think, yeah, well, I come from a ballet background. Like I've been doing ballet for many years and I'm still doing it. But I feel like what contemporary's got, it's got more freedom. Like there is no those certain codes of things you need to fit in, or like it needs to be this way, otherwise it's wrong. And I think that's what I love about contemporary is that there is no right, there is no wrong. You can kind of do anything and everything with it. And it's also, I found that really grounding, and I found that there is a deeper connection within myself and within wherever I'm dancing. Which is probably why I love it so much. Like I found it so freeing in a way. I think that would be the word for me. Like that's why I feel like, okay, I'm free to do whatever I want and whatever I feel like I want to do today, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it makes complete amount of sense. I felt when I was in Chrysalis, I felt such a sense of freedom because you're with a group of people, and it's not like you're creating this hard hitting choreo with a group of people that has to be so regimented and so like this. It was like a freeing. It was such a freeing experience because you're working together and trying to find your inner flow of what that is.
Yeah.
And sometimes in the moment it could be hard hitting, but then there's also that hard hitting that goes into the more fluid kind of like movements, and that's all dependent, like I feel like it's all maybe dependent on your particular expression and feelings and energy within the moment, and that is, and I guess that's freedom because you are expressing your true self through movement,
Yeah.
however that may be within that instance. That's why I always loved contemporary
I agree with you.
contemporary dance, because yeah, no, I think that, yeah, I completely agree with that.
Yeah.
So so just going back to like coming to London and stuff. You said you've been here a year, right? Or a year.
Yeah, you're 9 months now.
And
Yeah.
and recently, so obviously, guys, recently, Candy Creative has been supporting Manon just in a couple of different ways, and one of those things have been, I mean, if you're okay to speak about it, Manon, has been this visa situation, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd love to touch on that because I think it could really help certain people and like how to go in this direction, because like thinking about it, like it is so interesting because you come to say that the UK, or even if you're going to America or Australia, whatever, you come to these different countries from your countries trying to get more. I don't know, or if it's in your case, you didn't understand the reason why you wanted to go to London, like when you first came to London, but you had that feeling. But a lot of the time, people will come to say London or New York or wherever it is to become more creative and become their more creative selves. And you spend all this time here, and then it's like, and you forget about this whole thing of like, oh, I'm not actually fully like originally from this country, so there's a whole visa situation, and then all of a sudden there's a visa situation pops up. So could you explain a little bit about that and what the circumstances with this is?
Sure. Yeah, first of all, I really want to thank you again, and you and the community, for like the whole support that you bringing me, because that means so much. So I really want to thank you for that one more time, and it'll never be enough.
Bless you. No, I honestly, like, and I'm still here to support. Like whenever you need it. That's what I and the community is about. Like I just want to help everyone.
Yeah, but that means so much, and I wish more people would be like you on this planet. So yeah, thanks for that.
They make me blush.
Yeah. But yeah, about that whole process, yeah, it's a very, very difficult and stressful process, because so I arrived after Brexit, which, like, just after. If I would have been here like 4 months before, done, no visa. But yeah, so I need a visa to stay, and as a creative, there's not that many visa because obviously, like, you're a freelance artist.
Yeah,
It's not a
you're nothing to
regular.
the system. As a freelance, self-employed person, you're
Exactly.
nothing to the system because you're doing your own
Nothing,
thing. You don't want to fit what we're doing. Go fuck yourselves. That's the
right?
vibe I always fucking get.
Exactly. Like, you don't really mean anything to the country, and they don't gonna really consider you. So you have to prove them. Basically, first of all, like, you can be a better artist than anyone that is from here or that is settled here. And that goes through a lot of different things, from like a basic letter of recommendation from a high person in the industry to international media recognition, awards, crazy jobs,
Mm.
crazy things. You need to really, really prove how great you are, and you need to get people to speak about you and about how good you are,
Mm.
um, to kind of get through that process and hopefully get that visa, which obviously I'm not there yet. I'm still in the process of gathering as much as I can to put together a solid application and hopefully stay here and keep on building what I started to build here over a bit more than a year and a half now.
Mm.
Um, Hopefully I'll get there. Because I
Wonderful.
don't really have a
Yeah.
plan B at the moment. But yeah,
What
it's a long and draining process.
mm. Yeah, I
Are
mean,
we getting there?
I can only imagine. I mean, yeah, all the stuff that we kind of spoke about and stuff, the things that you have to do, like even with these reviews and like getting them in big time papers. Like who teaches you this stuff? Who tells you
It's a
this,
lot.
man? Like they say,
It's a
like, oh
lot.
look, come over. No, look, you can come over here. Like, oh my God, it's all plentiful. Like, you do whatever you can do whatever you want. And then all of a sudden, no, okay, no, you got to do this, 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 and this. And you need to be in a big time paper and do this. And no, we're not going to tell you how to do it because you need to do it on your own and go fuck yourself. It's like,
Thing. It is so hard, and it's so,
mm,
like, I'm 20. Like, I don't have the experience of someone who is like maybe 35 and's got a career in other countries. Like, for me, this is the country where I want to start to really build a serious career and to really establish myself as an artist. So yeah, it's it's making it even harder. I
yeah,
guess there is
yeah,
a way, but it is tough.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I find it I find it crazy that I do find it crazy how I feel like it's happening more and more now that creative industries are just getting shrugged aside because it's like, oh no, this isn't going to help the economy. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, but you wouldn't have any of the amazing stuff that we have in this world without the idea of creativity and people going off the beaten track to do their thing
Yeah.
and create something new for the world.
Yeah. There is a real lack of recognition. Like, we're not recognized, and yeah.
It's mad. I almost see it's because the people who are making money are the people who are in business, like who are all about business and making money. Whereas as a creative, it's not about making money. But say it's in previous lives and generations or whatever, it was just this whole idea of just like like we need to like make as much money as we can, like we need to grow. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, in order to do this, in order to get all this money, I need to use different. Okay, cool. I need someone who can make this. Okay, cool. Right, let's just use them. And I say use. Let's
Use.
use them like like property, not like an individual or like someone with um someone with
Yeah.
dreams and aspirations. It's just like no, okay, cool. I can just use them and then I'll shrug on the side. Okay, bye, cool. I've used your thing now.
Yeah.
It's done. And I think these are the things that we need to like. These are the mentalities we need to slightly adjust and change, and just like come to a mentality of like it doesn't matter how much money you have, or how much success you have, or how much you're in the limelight, or how many followers you have on social media. Like if you have, it needs to be more about good intentions. You know what I mean? Like if you have a good intention and you um are doing things for say the I don't know, just doing things in a good for a good thing, vibes. I don't know, I couldn't think of the word. You know what I mean? Like we need to be on that level playing field. So whether you're here in money success or here in I don't know social media success, we need to bring it just back down to like here again.
Yeah,
I mean, and
where
it's something I try
start.
to encourage and promote and promote and promote and promote. It's just harder and harder to, because we're struggling. Everyone is struggling, and we go back to fight or flight mode of like, okay, shit, I need to get money for myself. I need to use all these different people and use all these different things in order to get money for myself, to support my family and to support myself.
Yeah.
But it's just going to be, I just think it's just going to be on a just downhill spiral. Like what we've done so far has worked in a sense, but has it worked? Are we, you know what I mean? Are
Maybe.
we, I don't know, I'm going on tangents, but that's what I like to do. I go on so many tangents. But taking it back though, the visa situation, where are you at with it? So what have you got to, what are you doing for it then? Because you said about the
So,
reviews and stuff.
yeah.
What's the situation with that? Have you found people? Have you managed to work out the process of how to do it with just on your own? Like, what's
Yeah, I've been putting a lot of hard work into it. I genuinely spent nights on it, like actual nights
mm,
on it, because obviously you work during the day, so you don't have time to do that. Um, but yeah, I've managed to, I would say I have about 80% of what I need right now,
fantastic.
to get it, in a way of like, I managed to get recommendation letters from high people in the industry. I've worked as an artist for like a couple of years now, so I have enough work experience in terms of what they might be looking for.
Mm,
And right now I'm getting into the process of getting more what they call media recognition. So whether that's TV, whether that's newspaper or article, I am getting there. I am in the process of showcasing one of my choreographic pieces in on French TV. So that's in the process. I've managed to
oh, so it doesn't
build
matter
that.
if it's English or French, or like
It can
it
be
just has to
anywhere.
be.
It can be anywhere in the world. They actually like it international as well.
Oh,
So I've
wow.
managed to get in contact with them to showcase a short excerpt of my piece, of one of my choreographic pieces, there, hopefully before December. Just need to figure out a date now because everyone was on holiday. And I'm also going to showcase an actual 20-minute piece in a theater in London in January or February, between January and February, and hopefully get that reviewed as well.
Incredible. You're such
So
an
it's
amazing,
coming
hardworking.
together.
You're such an amazing, hardworking creative. It's just insane.
It's
Because it is
coming
mental.
together.
Like what you just said, you have a day job and you have all these different things, all these different classes and stuff that you do, and all of this, and it's just like on top, and then you've got to do that like on top of it. It's how how's your mental health with it all? And the only reason I touch on that is because I touched on, we just released an episode last week, talking about mental health and just talking about the mental health in general, about like my own personal experiences and Joanna Freeman, who we spoke to, about her, what she does. She's also a dancer. I don't know if you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you do? Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we were speaking about like mental health and stuff. So with that, how like how has it been affecting, if it's this added thing that you've got to do with all the other stresses of life, like how are you feeling in with this whole thing?
Altogether, yeah. I guess it's finding a balance. There are days with, there are days without. I'm honestly feeling great, like, because I'm able to leave where I want to leave. I'm able to do what I want to do. So
Mm,
like, I'm very happy about it. Of course, I have days that are like 20 hours long, like literally.
mm,
So it's a lot, and I guess it's about trying to find what helps you recharge and what helps you, like, okay, fill up the batteries again before you go. So it's been a lot of like actually getting to know myself and getting to know how I function, so I don't burn myself out with everything that I'm doing.
mm,
And obviously there are days where I feel like, oh my God, how am I gonna do it? But at some point you just gotta keep pushing. And yeah, I guess it's really for me finding what helps me recharge, and of course also the support I get from my friends. And like, I honestly call them my family here, like the people who support me and who just like, you know, when you feel a bit down and when you're like, okay, I've got no energy anymore, and they're just like, okay, you can do it, there you go, you've done it. And yeah, I guess
So
it's, yeah.
how do you recharge? What's your main vibe to go recharge?
What's my main it's different things depending on how I feel. I meditate quite a lot, or I try to really find time to meditate, because I'm someone who struggles to do nothing. I would never do nothing. I would always like, when I'm queuing in the supermarket, I'll be on Duolingo learning Spanish, or like if I'm in the queue for 5 minutes, I'll do something. I can't do nothing.
Mm.
So meditation kind of allows me, I'm like, okay, I'm not doing nothing. I am meditating, but at the same time, I am taking some time to like, okay, breathe and like come back to yourself for a sec, even if it's just 5 minutes a day. So I'll say meditation has helped me a lot.
Mm.
Music, actually playing an instrument also for me is quite recharging. So
Oh,
I
cool. What
play the piano.
instrument do you play?
I play the piano. It's over there.
Hey, you know what? I looked at the drawers and I was like, wait a minute, that's not a piano. And then I saw it on top of the thing. Oh,
There's a
fantastic. Well,
piano.
when did you start playing piano?
Lockdown. During the lockdown.
Aha, those
Yeah,
lockdown vibes.
it was lockdown
We all
vibe.
learned something new in lockdown.
We all did something different. I had
Um,
no space to dance. I had to do something else.
yeah, yeah. Dancing with the fingers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the vibe.
I learned to
Right.
felt. I learned. Have you ever heard of felting?
No, what's that?
So it's basically like, you know, felt,
Yeah,
like like the material.
yeah,
So you
yeah.
basically get loads of felt and you have like a pin,
Oh,
like a needle with like it's kind of like a fish hook kind of thing, like a really small fish hook thing. And you
okay.
basically poke this into the felt like loads of times,
Interesting.
and it molds into something. Wait, have I got?
Should have some.
Oh, I don't even have any felts with me. But basically, I started felting with my mum and that because I lived at home for a bit
That's fun.
during lockdown, and I was trying to make loads of like Avenger characters. So I made like an Iron Man, um,
That's
and like
amazing.
I made like a Thor,
I
um,
love that.
and it was so sick. It was so
That is
cool. I
so
haven't done it
cool.
since lockdown, but it reminds you. And like, you know what I loved about um what I loved about that whole lockdown vibe of when you literally couldn't do anything. You could only do you had to just like find stuff to do. It really does take you back to your inner child. We were speaking about like becoming your inner child on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Right.
And it is interesting because like how do we find these times where we can become our inner child? Because I feel, because you look at children and you look at what children are, and it is a representation of freedom, because it's because it's your thought processes and the things that you're doing. You're just unleashing and doing whatever you want at that very moment in time, and that to me is freedom. Doing what you want when you want is freedom to me, and
Yes.
that's what I try to live by. Like that's why I do like these things and stuff with the community, and do like different events when I want to do events and all these different things, because I get to do it because I have a choice. I have the
Yeah.
choice in order to do that. And that's why I say about like being your inner child, because like that's what I feel like it brought, like all these different things, like learning something new, or like, you know, just going out, like I guess, I don't know, going out into the garden, just like doing, I don't know, just doing what you want to do. I don't know, like it just, there was in fact, this reminds me of something I learned. I listened to a podcast. I listened to Stephen Bartlett's podcast quite a lot. Such a fucking dope podcast. I mean, everyone should listen to it because it just helps me. It's really because he speaks to entrepreneurs, but I think especially as creative people, we are all creative entrepreneurs, and
Right.
like we are all entrepreneurs because we're going into a direction of creating our brand. And I think listening to someone like Stephen Bartlett speak to all of these different individuals who are all entrepreneurs, it just it makes me feel better sometimes, because it makes me see that like all of these successful people are still going through these struggles of these, you know, these
Yeah.
mental health struggles, or the struggles of just trying to be their brand and do what they want to do. And to me, it just gives me a bit of a kick up the arse. Anyway, he was talking to a guy called Jay Shetty, who is he's a meditative practitioner.
I know him.
Boom, boom. Yeah, he's such a cool fucking dude. Yeah, he's such a cool dude. And he said the three key steps to happiness is learning something, love something, and launch something.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's I think that's so sick. So like even with, you know, with like the lockdown thing, learning something new.
Yeah.
So like learning something new, like falling in love with that, like what you've gained, and you know, and then if you bring it back in the future, like you do now, like, you know, it's that love for it. And then like launching something that can be launching like anything, like your project, or like your, you know, your like a new dance routine, or like, and I think having those three paramount things, I think I think it really, I think he's definitely onto something, because every time I do learn something new, and we go back to that inner child, and we have that sense of freedom, that is, you know, you have that sense of joy, that happiness. Yeah, I was going to ask a question, I can't remember. But
the inner child.
Huh?
But
Inner
the
child,
child.
just like I am all the time, like a child. No, Manon, it has been such a lovely chat. It's been a lovely, just a lovely quick kind of session, just to get to know you a little bit more, and just to dive into your life and and your vibes of what you're kind of going through, and your experiences and stuff. So I just want to thank you for coming on. Again, like if you need any support, you know, I'm always there. And yeah, just thanks so much. And it was such a great chat, and good luck with the visa situation. Yeah, thanks for giving a bit of an insight into that, just for everyone. I think can hopefully help people a little bit more, and just know that there's others out there who are dealing with that situation. And yeah, so thank you so much, and I'd love to have you on again. And cool beans.
Thank you.
But cool, guys. Oh, before I forget, where can people find you? I do this every single time. Where can people find you? Best place to find you.
Best place to find me, in a dance studio. No,
yeah, just go looking around London, guys. Look around London. You'll be in a dance studio somewhere.
I'll probably be somewhere around there. And no, best place to find me. I mean, I'm on Instagram, not a lot, but I'm trying to be active on Instagram and to actually share and connect a little bit on Instagram. So that's the main place where I would say you can find me online.
What's your Instagram?
What's my Instagram? It's Manon, MANON _SRVJ.
That should be a fucking tune. Fantastic, guys. You've all been amazing. Manon, you've been amazing. And if anyone wants to ask us any questions, get us talking about a topic, or if you want to be on the podcast, our email is in the description, and Manon's details are in the description. So show her some love, get on Instagram and give her a follow, and go find her in some dance studios. I'm sure she'll give you a bit of a boogie. So cool. Thank you so much, Manon. It's been amazing, amazing talking to you. Cool beans.